So I wanted to take a few minutes with this video to talk about 4 interesting PlayStation 5 stories, and if you could hit that like button on the video, thank you to those that do it, and as always, it's very much appreciated. Now, the stories I wanted to cover in this video includes PlayStation Mobile and Sony recruiting a big player in that space, supposed Spider-Man 2 PlayStation 5 leaks, free PlayStation 5 games possibly set to come, and a future PlayStation 5 title set to reach next level visual quality. First, let me know if you've ever had a PSP or PS Vita. We're going to get to the PlayStation Mobile story here in a sec, but I'm curious how many of you actually cared and played on Sony's mobile platforms, played those mobile franchises. So comment below. Have you ever had a PSP or PS Vita? Let me know down in the comments below. Now diving into the first story of the video, PlayStation Mobile. Reading from Push Square, Sony is forging forward into the smartphone space, and it's quietly signed a big name to lead the initiative. Ex-Apple Arcade bigwig Nicola Sebastiani has switched allegiances to take the head of mobile role at PlayStation Studios. You may recall the Japanese giant advertising for this position earlier this year. That job listing included the mandate to own and develop the mobile strategy for PlayStation Studios and help build a foundation for future growth opportunities, which sounds like a pretty compelling project to us. Sebastiani previously worked to curate content on the surprisingly strong subscription service Apple Arcade, so he certainly knows his way around good smartphone games. While not necessarily part of this fledgling initiative, Wipeout Rush was announced recently, and we're sure many more will follow. Sony is looking to grow the appeal of its biggest brands, and it sees mobile as a huge opportunity to do that. Don't be surprised if there ends up being a Last of Us app, for example, to coincide with the upcoming television show. So I know how people feel about mobile gaming, but I think people really need to relook at something like Apple Arcade, which I personally think is worth its asking price, more than worth it in my opinion. The library of titles on there is great. Beyond that, I know how people feel about gaming on a touchscreen. I'm not a fan of that either, so I have a backbone controller that I use to play on Apple Arcade when I get the chance. Another thing that I know people don't like about mobile games are the microtransactions. Apple Arcade throws that out the window. The games they have on the service are full proper games. Mobile devices have also become very powerful at this point, and I personally can see Sony bringing some great original content here based on their first party franchises. And the icing on the cake is that new studios will be handling these games, so no time taken from current first party studios. Maybe they'll consult on some of the games, but they'll probably most likely be focused on the big budget PlayStation 5 titles, while these mobile titles will be handled by different studios. This is basically more Sony gaming content, and I'm all for it. Now diving into the second story of the video, PlayStation 5 next level quality. Reading from PlayStation Lifestyle, Haven Studios boss Jade Raymond has said that her team of industry veterans are busy creating a PlayStation 5 IP that can be owned by fans rather than creatives. In a lengthy interview with Games Industry, the former Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs developer revealed that her team wants to create something where it's not just professional teams, but it's designed to be owned by the fans and can evolve through that. And when it comes to really ambitious games and the PlayStation 5 and what it can do, and you're trying to achieve this next level quality visually, and you have an art director like Raphael Lacoste, and you have these ambitions, you need to think, what does it mean to support the first terabyte game? Raymond continued, what does it mean to support this level of data? All these things that we learned to make game streaming of this generation possible are interesting to reach the next level of quality. So when she says something that can be owned by fans and evolve through that, this sounds like Media Molecule's Dreams, which has a similar concept. We know that this game is online focused, a games as a service based on reports, so it's interesting to hear them try to go for the next level quality visually. That's not usually a target of games as a service type game, so I'm definitely intrigued to see what it is and how it looks. But you guys let me know if you're a fan of Assassin's Creed or Watch Dogs. Let me know down in the comments below. Now diving into the third story of the video, free PlayStation 5 games. So this is a pretty straightforward story here. Jim Ryan recently sat down with games industry. We covered this on Friday. I covered 2 points on that video for Jim Ryan from what Jim Ryan said. I was focused on those 2 points because they had impacts on the future of PlayStation. One piece of information I didn't mention was the Play at Home initiative. Sony in 2020 and in 2021 ran the Play at Home initiative, which offered gamers free games to play while they stayed at home due to CV and the global situation. These were completely free games. You didn't need PlayStation Plus. You claimed them. They were yours. Done. Some games from 2021 and 2020 that were offered includes the Ratchet & Clank remake, Horizon Zero Dawn, Astrobot Rescue Mission, and many more titles. The basic gist of the story is that if we're still at home in 2022, Sony could be set to offer the Play at Home initiative once again, according to Jim Ryan, with new games added to the roster. In terms of what the games could be, who knows for the time being. Now diving into the fourth story of the video, the Spider-Man 2 PlayStation 5 leaks. Reading from website CBR, a recent leak suggests that Marvel's Spider-Man 2 will greatly expand upon the original game with multiple playable characters, an overhauled movement system, and unexpected villains. The leak comes by way of Reddit, where an Insomniac Games employee spilled some of the details on the game using a throwaway account. The developer, who allegedly works on the traversal team for Spider-Man 2, answered some questions from eager fans. The title will reportedly allow players to choose to play missions as either Peter Parker or Miles Morales, each one having unique skills and abilities. Whoever the player doesn't choose will be controlled by AI and provide support during the quest. Peter's web trick system has been improved to play more like Miles in Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, while the wall crawling system has been revamped, allowing for smoother transitions between actions without hindering the player's pace. The speed cap for the game has been greatly improved, meaning players can web swing 1.7 to 1.8 times faster than the original Spider-Man PlayStation 4 game. This is largely due to PlayStation 5's SSD technology, allowing Insomniac Games to render the levels quicker. The poster also mentions that webs can now be reeled in, acting as a kind of grapple hook to help clear certain objects when moving around New York City. As for Venom and the symbiotic suit, the supposed employee offered up some details on how they'll feature. Peter will reportedly gain the iconic black suit in the first part of the game, using the symbiote's tendrils as 4 extra arms in combat. Rather than being an alien, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is pulling from the Ultimate Spider-Man comic books, where Venom was actually created by Oscorp, something which is referenced in post-credits scene in the first games. Following an unspecified story event, Peter separates himself from the suit, which takes a new host and becomes Venom. To combat this new villain, Peter develops the 4 robotic arms seen in the game's reveal trailer. The post goes on to say that Kraven the Hunter will serve as the game's main antagonist as Peter and Miles fight against his army of mercenaries. The poster does say that while they're unsure of secondary villains, both Lizard and Mysterio appear in the game. As for heroes, no other Marvel heroes will be included in the story, but the amount of Easter eggs alluding to a larger universe has significantly increased. So right off the bat, I would say this is a rumor more than a leak, since we don't know the source's credibility. Supposedly it's a throwaway account. How do you verify that? But looking at the stuff being said, it's not crazy stuff. It's believable. We wondered how Peter and Miles would work. Some thought co-op, but it was confirmed that this is a single player story. So the thought moved to maybe like Kratos and Atreus' situation, where you have semi-control over the AI. However, this seems more like a Last of Us situation, but you're given the option to play as Ellie or Joel, or in this case, Peter or Miles. The rest of the stuff like increased speed, better swinging, are logical improvements. Now, I'm not a big comic book reader, but Peter carrying the symbiote with Venom's tendrils becoming 4 arms, like he'll have 4 arms. Not sure why it has to be 4 arms. I'm assuming it's for gameplay purposes, if I'm putting some logic to this. Kraven the Hunter, people guessed that right away watching the reveal trailer. I don't believe it's been officially confirmed yet though. As for Lizard and Mysterio, there's been Easter eggs for both in the first game, so sure. And all in all, these could also just be logical guesses. You can guess at Mysterio and Lizard being in the sequel because of the Easter eggs, at how Peter and Miles will play since it's been confirmed it's a single player story already, that if speed improvements will happen because of the SSD, etc. You can guess all of this stuff, but you guys let me know if you believe any of this for Spider-Man 2 or not. Let me know down in the comments below. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please hit that like button as it always helps, and subscribe if you're new. I got new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one. And welcome back to the after show. This is the part of the video where we have a little fun down in the comments below. If you're old, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. For today's thing, what I want you guys to do is to body, obliterate, destroy, and overall harass the comment section with "Bring on the Insomniverse." Obviously, this is in reference to the Insomniac Marvel universe. If you're excited for Spider-Man 2, Wolverine, and that Marvel multiplayer game that Insomniac is rumored to be working on, destroy the comment section with "Bring on the Insomniverse," and I'll definitely heart those comments like I always do, because I appreciate everybody who stays to the end of my videos. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one.